going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to another episode of the Legion of Comic Correction, where we talk all things comic books, man. We are jumping into a new series this week.
Cracking a cold one.
King's cracking the...
It's water.
Cracking the
a cold seltzer water.
Cold seltzer water.
He's ready. You know what?
I wasn't ready. I was like, dang, I'm thirsty.
That has been sitting
stay
there
For like a week.
for a week.
Yeah.
That is a
Let me
week.
tell you.
Is that the same one?
It's
The
crisp.
same one. He brought it down because
Yeah,
he was
never
like, I'm
drank
going to
it.
drink it tomorrow when
Never
we
did.
film. And then he never drank it.
Nope.
Well, today's as good a day as ever.
Yep.
As good a day as ever as we start this new series on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
Moon Knight, which dropped
Yeah.
this past week.
Yeah.
And we are getting on it, man.
Yeah.
But
I
before we
shaved
do,
my head and my beard for Moon
for
Knight.
Moon Knight,
I
For
also
Moon
shaved
Knight.
my beard.
There you go.
Trimmed. We trimmed our
Trimmed
beards.
up. Trimmed up. I would never
I-
shave my beard fully off. Let's be.
you've done it
I mean, we
before.
did.
I did it
For-
like years ago.
Well, I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the mustache, for November.
For November. Of
Yeah.
course. Well,
Yeah,
November is a whole different ball game. Like,
true.
let's be honest about that.
It's true.
Like, that's
it's its own beast.
its own beast.
Someone asked me that, like, when are you
Well-
going to shave your whole beard off? I
November.
said, well, for mustaches, for mental health issues, and then
You know what,
if
though, man?
people die, I shave my
think
face completely off.
That's
think-
fair.
I
Both of those
honestly-
legitimate reasons.
I think yours
Only
grew
reasons.
back fuller, though, after you
Oh, it
shaved
did.
off. So when we shave again...
But the mustache didn't.
Maybe we should, you know what, to be
you didn't
honest.
shave the mustache off ever, did you?
Listen.
Once. Yeah.
No,
once.
but I mean, for November,
no,
you
no,
didn't.
No. He rocked the
I'm
heck out
telling
of
you.
that.
But what I'm saying is, I think that's why that grew back fuller, because you shaved it all
it
off
did
for November.
It did come back real
came
strong.
back better.
Real strong.
Stronger.
Real
Real
strong.
strong.
Fuller.
Let's be honest though. This is a superhero here that struggles with mental health
Yes.
issues. Maybe we
Something.
should rock mustaches
Struggle.
during
For
this
Moon
podcast
Knight?
for Moon Knight in honor of Moon Knight.
Listen,
I didn't get a lot of support on that
We're
one.
just like,
No.
I would totally. I wish.
Yes.
It's like the only facial hair I can grow.
But
my
you're
wife doesn't
actually
like
at
it.
full growth.
My wife has down here. Yes, it is. It's genetic.
It's definitely not from, like, not trying to lift weights and things.
Brett had
I'm
actually,
trying, man.
Brett
Boost
had
that
the best.
testosterone.
Brett had the
He
best
had the best mustache
during
he
November.
rocked the Ben Stiller dodgeball mustache.
Yeah.
Well, it's
The-
the Hulk
the nurse.
Hogan
It's huge. Yeah,
mustache.
the handlebar.
Yeah, the handlebar.
I work with a guy. Well, I don't work directly with a guy, but there's a guy in another department that legitimately looks like Hulk Hogan and rocks
Oh.
that.
Gotta
I
have that
wish.
look. If
24/7,
if you
365.
even close to resemble him, you
I
better
wish.
be rocking that look.
Man.
He picked up like 100-pound jackhammer with one hand up like 4 foot onto a truck, and we're
Yeah. No,
Terrifying.
"Excuse me."
sir.
Terrifying.
That's Hulk Hogan.
It literally is.
That man right there. He just came out and started working for Lansdale Electric.
Reincarnated Hulk Hogan.
Reincarnated.
Anyway, we are way off
Yeah,
topic
well,
here.
Yeah,
he's
whatever.
Real
It's
old
a typical after a long
now.
break.
It's been a break. Yeah,
we've had a bit of a break.
Why
Why did we have a break?
Listen, we were tired the first time we had
The
a
first
break.
time it was
the
tired.
second time it was legitimate.
Yeah.
I had COVID, so
Yeah.
rest up if you got it, because it stinks.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
He only has
Wasn't
the
good.
little version.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, well, I thought
It's
I
baby
thought
boots.
I had the well,
Baby
I think
boots
I,
COVID.
I think I had the original version at the beginning of all of this.
That's
so
true.
I've
That's
run
true.
the gamut
You've
now.
gotten both versions.
Somehow you got it again.
Power, right? It's making me
Power.
stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
just-
5 infinity.
Hey man, take it, conquer it, get stronger because of it.
There you go.
Stay safe though. We had to, so
Seriously.
we took a break.
In all seriousness.
All right, but if you're new here, we don't just talk about comic books. We talk about mental health and COVID and everything
Hulk
that comes
Hogan
around.
lookalikes.
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan lookalikes.
It's WrestleMania, okay?
Yeah, well,
And
we
nobody
are gonna
cares
get-
but Logan.
I care very greatly.
He cares enough for 3 people.
I'm in the middle. I enjoy watching it, but if
the show
if
of
it's not on, I
shows.
don't
I mean,
really
I'll
care.
watch it if it's
Yeah,
on,
it's fun.
Listen.
but only in Logan's house, not my house.
All right,
Entertaining.
tie it in, fellas. If you are new here, like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to hear more nonsense just like this, because we put
Lot
out
of
episodes
nonsense.
every week, and we love to talk about everything, but mostly comic books.
Mostly.
If you go down in the description below, you'll see links to all different kinds of cool stuff, like our Patreon, where you will get exclusive content from all 3 tiers.
Yeah.
Our Legion website, Legion of CC, where you can buy sweet merch like this, sweet merch like that, and sweet merch like that,
like
and,
this,
and also
Oh,
like
we
that.
can get it in.
Look at
he
that.
did get
He
it in.
got
Look at
it
that
in there.
flexibility.
Heroes.
Showing off the legs.
man.
That man's a man that does not skip leg day.
Just saying, you got Legion legs.
Took all of my being to get my leg up that high.
I am now paralyzed from the waist down.
From my back.
So check it out, guys. If you want extra content, go to Patreon and support. If you just want to support and buy sweet merch, go to our Legion website and buy sweet merch.
Stuff's comfy.
there.
At the very least, it's comfy.
It's
Oh,
super
very
comfy.
good.
If you don't like how this
Very
looks,
comfy.
you're garbage. But it's comfy.
That's true. I'm loving
pants.
That's logic.
I'm loving the
Science.
garbage.
That's
trucker
actually
hat.
just science.
Science.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
cool. All right, so we are jumping in. We try and hit all the major Disney Plus Marvel shows. So if you haven't heard our other reactions to all those other shows, go back and check them out on our streaming pod playlist. But we're jumping into a new one. We got Moon Knight dropping this week.
Moon
From
Knight.
Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, man.
Yeah, buddy.
And dude, they kicked it. I thought,
Yeah.
well, here we go.
Well,
Okay.
you're already jumping in. I guess you're just gonna give
No,
give the
before we go
correction.
into it, man.
Give the correction. Okay.
Well, no, we're not correct. This
it's
is a reaction.
serious.
Yeah, it's just our streaming pod.
Go ahead and give a reaction.
Well, what
for
I'm
all
saying
of us,
is,
apparently.
so here's the deal. None of us were Moon Knight fans, right? Were you a Moon Knight fan?
No.
Like a comic book fan?
I mean,
Were
I've
you?
read a couple, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
No, I
Were
mean,
you?
Scarcely.
Moon Knight, the
I
only
wasn't.
understanding that I had, like, before this, or the only interest I had was, like, people who tried to make a comparison or an explanation was, it was Batman, but he kills.
Right,
And
yes.
so that was like,
It's not like
that
always the
sounds-
comparison, though. It's like
sounds
Batman, but he kills people.
Well,
Right.
Well, he
What?
has
Generally, that's
Daredevil, but he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Blind.
Yeah, but
But
he's
he kills
blind.
But he
people.
kills people.
Well, Daredevil rarely kills people in the comics, and he doesn't really kill people in the show either. Or at least
No,
he
not
tries
this
not
show.
to.
He
Yeah.
puts them real
He
close.
puts him into that, and he'll even say,
He
Right
will
there.
kill if it's necessary.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Or
Moon,
allow people to
Moon
die.
Knight kills
I
a
guess
whole
Batman's
lot.
stupid.
Moon Knight
Batman
kills a
will
whole
allow
bunch.
you to die.
Yeah.
He doesn't need
Yeah.
to save you.
He
Liam
tries,
Neeson's.
Yeah, he tries to keep people alive.
Yeah.
The real Batman,
It's true. It's true.
not most of the movie Batmans, but the real Batman
Two
tries to.
we've talked about very specifically, just on a quick note. Two we've talked about where he legitimately did not save them. One,
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones, Two-Face. He
Straight up.
legitimately did not even try to save him.
And Ra's al Ghul.
And Ra's al Ghul.
He literally
Liam
said,
Neeson.
"I don't have to save you," and
Right.
out of
So
there.
both
Boom.
of those are the perfect
Dead.
examples
Yeah,
of
but he's the
he
demon
just
head.
didn't
I
even
mean,
try.
really, the demon head has to die. I mean,
Oh,
he's
he
the
also
demon
goes
head.
back
he
into the
doesn't die.
Lazarus pit.
No,
comes
that's what I'm
back,
saying.
so.
But like, if you're gonna let someone die or try and make sure they're dead, it's the demon
You
head.
gotta
You
do
gotta
him.
try.
Gotta go with him.
That dude's nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Moon Knight. None of us really knew about him, so I did some research on just kind of his character,
Oh,
where he
give an
came from.
intro. All right.
Yeah, I want to make sure. So, because people out there might not know anything about him either, and I went into it blind, which I kind of like, you know. And so, if you're
Yeah,
like
I'm all
me and
about
you
it.
don't want to know stuff, then stop listening for a little bit because I'm going to tell some things about Moon Knight.
Here's what you should do. Dude,
Yeah.
this would be really good. For this intro, you should do like a Greg's intro card. Like
yeah.
design a little like Greg's intro.
I might not have time for that for this one, but I am going to do. I'll throw up our Moon Knight characters.
There you
like
go.
full screen.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
boom.
I like it. I like
there
it.
it is.
Can you do a time lapse of you drawing it?
I already. Well, actually, you know what? I've only
But,
done
like,
the pencils
speed it
so
up, like-
far, so maybe I will.
Done.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll see if I can do that.
Nice.
Yeah, if I don't, I'm sorry I disappointed everyone. But
Follow us on next week for
my lot in life. All right, here we go. So, character started in a comic strip called Werewolf by Night number 32.
Awesome.
1975.
Awesome start.
He
75.
was
You've
he
got
was
me.
hired as a mercenary to take out a werewolf.
You've
So, I mean, the
Man,
more
I'm
I read about this
sold.
dude,
I'm in.
the more I read about this dude, I was like, I gotta start reading Moon Knight comics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah,
even
right.
if Oscar Isaac's like sucks,
Did it start
and
as a
he doesn't-
Marvel?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
Marvel run. Yeah,
Well, just because there's
Right.
Marvel like
yeah.
pulls some
So,
people in,
bought
but
everything.
Yep.
Sure, they
Yep.
might. Yeah, well, Disney does anyway. But
Yeah,
here we go.
It's fair.
So he's a man with split personality. He has 3. We've seen 2 in the show so far. So spoilers for the show. We've seen Stu. You said
You know what's funny is this guy at work. His name's Steve,
Stu.
and I call him Stu because on his name tag it looked like a U instead of a V.
Well, we're
Beef
gonna
stew.
call it
Stu,
yeah.
and
there
he's
we
like
go.
65 years old and probably wants to kill me. Because
Well, if
I
anyone,
love
Stu, if
Steve,
you
though.
watch on here, I apologize
anyone
for this
that's
man.
from work says listen to this.
Oh, and I'm also calling you Stu now.
if anybody, I feel like you have to be over a certain age to be called Stu.
yeah, he's
Like I feel
65,
like you
so.
shouldn't be.
Stuart.
Like, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like a 5-year-old. I'd never like you're like it was. I knew a little kid. I used to babysit, and his name was Carl. It was like a 5-year-old named Carl.
It's a rough.
It's like, I feel like you
After-
can't be Carl until you're like 30.
After Walking Dead, I mean, I feel bad
Oh,
for
that
that
name is
child
ruined.
named
that's
Carl.
he was a kid. He
Yeah.
lost an eyeball.
Tainted
Tainted
name. You
name.
can't
Yeah.
it's one of those names you can
Comic
like.
Carl,
I
cool.
nixed that name because of Walking Dead.
Comic Carl,
Like
cool,
Adolf, too.
TV That's actually a really good segue because the beginning of
The
Moon
beginning
Knight
of
has
Moon
to do with
Knight.
Nazis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so
exactly.
I can read that from here.
So three personalities. Three personalities, starting with the original. So he started as Mark Spector, which we really haven't met much in the show.
Nope.
We saw him at the very end, and he kind of talked to them in like the
Well, he did
museum
this.
room. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
That was it.
He
Yeah.
talked a little bit in
No,
the
I know.
mirror,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was
But I
cool.
mean, before that, it was
No,
just
yeah, nothing.
it was the mirror. Yeah, the mirror
Nothing.
with the darkness and the shaking of the head.
Yeah, which was sick.
Well,
All right.
and you know what? That's really interesting. You told me this before, and I was like
Yeah.
really surprised that
You didn't tell
Mark
me this, Greg.
was the.
I didn't see you this afternoon.
Mhm.
I came over and gave him stormtrooper pretzels or clone trooper pretzels.
Yeah.
whatever.
But I was surprised that Mark was the dominant personality because
Right.
all we've seen so far
Steven, yeah.
is Steven.
Which is
I
cool.
wanted
I think
to say
it's cool.
Stuart again. so bad.
We've always seen is Stu is Stewmeister, the Stewmeister. All right. So Mark Spector in the comics grew up in Chicago. His family fled Nazi persecution. They were a Jewish family that fled from the Nazis. And then in his childhood, he finds out that one of their old family friends, who was like a father to him, is actually a secret ex-Nazi who is a serial killer named Ernst, who is hunting down
say
Jewish
Ernst?
people. Yeah, Ernst. ERNST.
It's a rough go, man.
Yeah, right.
Also,
You
my
should name your child
boss's boss.
that. Oh, you're
Oh,
wrong.
boy.
The top dog.
Stu
are
and Ernst,
you-
man.
Is
Are
there
you-
something going on here I don't know
Wait a
about?
minute.
Are you Moon Knight?
Are you Moon Knight? I mean,
Saying you portrayed me as the wrong
he's kind
character.
of like Azrael, but all right. So when
That's
Mark,
actually the best. That is probably the best.
yeah, more like
comparison.
Azrael.
Azrael.
He's Azrael.
He is-
Literally,
he
we
is
are
a religious-
describing Azrael
Well,
right now.
and
I
Moon
wasn't
Knight.
gonna say it, but
Moon Knight is a religious.
Why weren't you going to say that?
Zealot.
I don't know.
You were going to let me say it?
I wanted you to be able to.
Come to the
Make
conclusion.
the,
conclusion
make the
from
connection.
yourself.
And we're describing Azrael.
Yeah, kind of. All right, so this revelation awakened Mark's multiple personalities. So the trauma from it woke up his personalities, and his father didn't know how to handle him. So his father sent him to a mental hospital. And in that mental hospital is where Mark first heard No Shoe's voice, the moon god from Egypt. Right? What are you talking about?
We're just doing some research in the background. Go ahead. Keep going. You're
All right,
doing
yeah.
an excellent job.
Oh,
It's
great.
nothing against you. You're doing an excellent job. Keep going.
All right, we're going to keep going.
Greg's like, what?
It's like, what do you
Nope,
guys
nothing
fired
wrong.
me?
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. We just, this is just sparking something in my head, and I wanted him to do a little research.
All right,
Go ahead.
All right, click a clack over there. So the ancient Egyptian moon god Khonshu is trying to speak to him because he realizes that Mark is a good candidate for an avatar, someone that he can control to execute his justice, right? Mark dismisses him, though, thinks he's another voice in his head. He goes through his time at this hospital until his father dies. He's released. He joins the Marines to let out his anger. In the Marines, they realize he has split personalities, so they discharge him. He then finds a job at the CIA because one of his split personalities is super smart. He later then leaves the CIA and becomes a mercenary for hire. As he's a mercenary for hire, he gets a job eventually in Egypt where he is killed defending a woman named Marlene, who he cares for. Khonshu then comes to him again in his death and brings him back to life and makes him his knight of the Moon Knight, to enact justice on people. In this, though, Mark and Khonshu work together to kind of rein in his multiple personalities to help Moon Knight do what he has to do. And so each personality has like a job to help Moon Knight, but they don't know about Moon Knight. They're completely disassociated. And here's where it changes a little bit. So there are 2 split personalities besides Mark. So 4 altogether: Mark, Moon Knight, and then Stephen Grant, who we met in the Disney Plus show.
Mhm.
And then a 4th one called Jake Lockley. The difference here, though, is Stephen Grant in the comics is like a super intelligent numbers dude, which he kind of is in the show. We see him like researching Egyptian stuff.
Right.
But Steven, he uses the Steven personality to become a multimillionaire and fund Moon Knight's missions. And then Jake Lockley is just like a regular everyday dude who has like a really good personality with people that he interacts with and stuff. And he becomes a cab driver, and they use his personality to gather like intel on the streets of Chicago and the streets of New York where he works, to help like find out where justice needs to be done. So we have not made Jake Lockley yet.
I'm really interested by the fact that they made the artistic choice to not have Steven be a multimillionaire. And I'm almost wondering.
Yes,
you're right.
right.
Yes,
He
it
could.
could be a yet.
Yeah.
It could be a yet
Because it's
situation.
probably early in the Moon
But
Knight thing.
I'm actually thinking, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why would they do that? I'm
Yeah.
almost wondering if they're trying to distance from other multimillionaires they've already portrayed in Marvel. So I'm thinking like Tony, and even I'm thinking basically whoever is going to be Black Panther next, and being able to lead Wakanda.
Yeah, that's true.
It's gonna be different, and obviously that portrayal would be different. The character and how they utilize the funds would be different. Like Tony was using it to build suit after suit after suit, but also like enhance the Avengers. Like I don't see Moon Knight in any iteration having Steven be a funding source for the entire Avengers. That's not something that I would see.
He's a funding source for weapons to kill all the people that Khonshu thinks are need justice.
And that's going to be an interesting factor here that we get into when we bring in Moon Knight into the new Avengers, because that's the rumor, is that he is going to play a large role in the new Avengers alongside Stephen Strange.
Yes.
And one of the things there is going to be like, what is the definition of justice for each of these characters? Like how Stephen defines justice is going to be different than definitely Moon Knight, and they're going to have to conflict around that.
There's a really cool possible connection, pretty strong connection to what this new phase is bringing about with Moon Knight in this first episode that I want to talk about in a minute, which could kind of talk into that.
Okay. So what I wanted him to research,
what
I had him look up was the first appearance of Azrael. I wanted to know
when they came out.
First.
Oh, yeah, good deal.
When did he come out? What did it come out?
92.
92.
Ooh, so
it
Azrael is a Moon Knight.
Yeah, it sounds like Azrael's the knockoff of Moon Knight rather than the other way around.
It's a little different, though.
It's not.
It's really, it's that.
It's
I
really
don't know
not.
a huge amount about Azrael.
It's really not.
I don't think that's a knockoff.
Well,
their origins are completely different.
Yeah, Azrael's the zealot, whereas Moon Knight is so Mark Spector is possessed by an ancient Egyptian god to enact religious justice.
Right, and Azrael has an entirely split personality where that he calls the machine that was put onto him ingrained into him, indoctrinated by the Templars, by his father, who ingrained that into him as a baby.
One.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
That's one.
That's one
of his renditions.
Right.
That's true.
Okay,
that's
so
true. You're pulling from the Arkham
Nightfall.
one, right?
No,
oh, no,
I'm
from
pulling
Nightfall.
directly from Nightfall. I'm pulling from the
original.
There's like 3 different ones.
You're right. And I don't deny that, but the most iconic, the most one with the most notoriety is Nightfall, and so that's what I'm pulling from.
I would say there's similarities, but they're not
pretty similar.
They're both still cool. I honestly,
I don't want to knock it. I don't want to knock it in any way. I'm just saying it's very interesting.
Batman and Iron Man are very similar.
100%. Hundo P.
Would you say one is a knockoff of the other?
Yeah. I would say Iron Man knocks off of Batman.
Yeah, because Batman did come out first.
Pretty bold statement.
It's not a bold statement. It's a true statement.
So Batman did establish Batman established the trope of millionaire genius who creates his own suits and fights people.
I mean,
so like
Green Lantern, Green Arrow is a straight up knockoff of Batman. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I said that wrong. No, they work together. I'm sorry. Hawkeye is a straight up knockoff of Green Arrow.
Right.
Like,
Well, and there were times where DC and Marvel literally did that to get at each other.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
But
Get
they-
under
and-
each other's skin.
and there's
100.
So you're
nothing
trying to
new under the
tell me
sun.
Wade Wilson and Slade Wilson are knockoff?
All right, let's get back to Moon Knight. All right, so there is one connection to Jake Lockley. So Jake Lockley, the third personality, he has a whole bunch of like underground networks in the comics, and one very important character that's an underground like spy for him is a character called Crawley. And the director has confirmed that the gold statue dude that sits there that Steven talks to is Crawley.
Oh, that's
so,
good.
Yeah, so Steven might not be that connection with Crawley, but the Crawley's there, and so he's probably going to end up being an informant, which was an informant for Jake, which is cool.
So let's talk about the episode now at this point.
Let's do it. There's some cool stuff, man.
So the thing that you said that was really cool was that the entire episode, except for the last moments, were all from Steven's perspective, which was, I thought, a bold way to start off the series, because you're sitting there and the episode or the show's Moon Knight. We're here. What are you here for?
Right. We want to see some Moon Knight.
You're here for Moon
butt,
Knight.
man.
Here, are you here for Steven or are you here for Moon Knight?
I don't know. After seeing Steven.
Yeah. I'm here for Moon Knight.
You're here for Moon
But
Knight.
Steven's pretty cool.
I'm
He's got a
here
goldfish.
to see Moon Knight do some damage and do some real work.
Yeah, bash some
And-
people's faces in.
Exactly. That's what I'm here to see.
Yeah.
And we don't get that until the last moments. Now, do I think that is a bad move? No, I think it's a bold move. I think it's a good move, because the other thing that they do really well in this episode is they highlight Ethan Hawke's character right away.
Oh, he's creepy, man.
Right away. He's a weird dude.
He's
And
sucking the life out of old ladies, man.
you had a little tidbit about the opening scene.
Oh, yeah,
that was
super
really
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I watched an interview with Ethan Hawke about the glass in his feet.
Mhm.
And that was not at all planned. Like, that was not an original idea by the writers or the directors. And Ethan Hawke was trying to get inside the idea of being a cult leader. And he was like harping on the fact that cult leaders get so obsessed with their appearance.
Ethan Hawke wouldn't need to do very much to actually be a cult leader.
No,
like, I would
he's
join
super-
probably
he's
Ethan
super
Hawke's
charismatic.
like
Yeah.
cult within a matter of seconds.
Super
Like,
charismatic.
it wouldn't even really
That's
take
reassuring.
very much.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on this guy.
It wouldn't take very much. I'm going to
So-
be honest.
so he
Ethan
was-
Hawke is awesome.
He was looking at the idea that most like extremist religious leaders who become cult leaders are so absorbed with their own projection of self-righteousness, and yet they struggle so much with like self-damnation and self-hatred on the inside that nobody sees. And so he was like, well, I have a cane. Is it because my character has a limp? And they told him, no, your character doesn't have a limp. He just has a cane. He's going to use it for other things, which we obviously saw him use as the pendulum, which is cool. But he was like, what if he kind of creates this weakness in his feet by putting glass in his shoes? Nobody can see it, but it's a reminder of himself of how much he hates himself inside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And though no one can see on the outside, he himself feels it on the inside. Just thought it was really cool. And then they like ran with it. The writers were like, yes, we want to do that. And they made the opening shot of the show, which was terrifying. Him drinking the water and smashing it. And like,
Yeah.
and then you felt every crunch as he stepped, man.
Yeah.
Just
I
set
mean,
the
you
stage
can't-
for who he is.
I can't help but have flashbacks to Die Hard. And
like
Bruce Willis.
The last time you put glass
digging
in your
his,
shoes.
I mean, yesterday
I mean-
when I put glass in my shoes.
Totally a normal thing for you.
But no, like that, I remember watching Die Hard and being like, he's digging glass out of his feet.
Yeah.
And
Ow.
like having to like run on the glass at that moment when they shoot it out across. And I'm like, and now he's just pouring it in there. And so I was like cringing and having to remind myself of like, not real. It's not real.
Though apparently it wasn't like a cutaway. It actually was like fake glass that when he stepped on it, it kind of turned to like dust, but it was uncomfortable for him. So it'd still make the noises and he could still kind of like feel it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like real. He actually mentioned in the interview, he was like, I'm really glad I'm not a method actor and didn't like real glass.
Nope,
there.
don't need that.
Like, no, please.
His character is incredibly interesting, and the reason why his character is incredibly interesting is because he's not in the comics.
Well, he is, but not
Not
I
in
actually
the,
looked
not,
that up. Not in that way.
Not in this way.
He's a scientist, a
Right.
Nobel Peace Prize winning scientist who's
Exactly.
trying to seek a cure for paralysis in his face, and he
Right.
uses pain to like experiment on people.
Right. And so my
very
point
different.
was, it's like, by saying he's not in the comics is like, it's not in this rendition.
Yeah.
And so there's
They've
been
reshaped him.
all this speculation about what his character is. And there's been a lot of speculation that his character is Dracula. And so
He does wear kind of a reddish
he-
clothing.
he
in this
number
episode.
one, the
cool.
hair alone and the way that they've done his makeup and everything, like I can see why you would like want to
Super
make that
pale.
jump.
Yeah.
The other thing that like gives a little bit to it and credence to this is like the way he takes the power or the life force
Yeah, he's
from the
absorbing
woman
people.
is he's absorbing it through them. Like it's not like Dracula where I'm like sucking your blood and taking it that way.
That was a
but
really good
he's,
Dracula.
I know you like
What
that.
did you think?
Sucking your blood.
Sucking your
And
blood.
the little
Nailed it.
little bunny ears over here.
But he's pulling the life force in another
Yeah.
way. And so
Yeah.
the last piece that goes to that is he, in an interview,
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, I'm Dracula.
Yeah.
But he said it in such a way that you're like,
He kind of smirked and looked at the camera.
Are you now?
Who knows?
Like,
Yeah,
I don't-
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Kevin Feige probably would have shot him though.
so there's been a lot of rumor as
Tom
well.
Holland ruined whole movies.
Yeah, it's true. Tom Holland
Yeah,
did ruin,
so,
and Mark
yeah.
Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo filmed the whole first like 5 minutes of Thor
Don't worry
Ragnarok
about it.
by accident
How-
on Facebook Live.
How do they not, like, they sign NDAs.
Oh,
Like, they
100%.
should, like,
Yeah,
be
but
in, like, tons of trouble.
But
yeah, but they make him a lot of money.
they
Yeah.
make them a lot of money, and you take those characters out, and you turn the fans against.
Well,
Yeah,
and you know what?
it's
Those little
fair,
bits
Harry.
that they do, those little bits get people even more excited.
More excited,
yeah.
yeah.
Like when people heard that
So it
he
makes you
Facebook
question-
Lived Thor Ragnarok, people were like, "Yeah, we want to see it."
It makes you question, though, like,
Yeah,
was
is
it
he-
a
is he-
setup?
yeah.
Is this like them? Is this
I would
them, or
love
is
him
it
to be
like?
Dracula. The old lady did look like she looked like gaunt, like it was like her skin was all
Yeah.
sucked in. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, a little
it
bit.
could be like a Daywalker thing where he's like
Could be.
sucking out their life force.
So I mean, there's been rumor that Blade
That- yeah,
will
that's the
be
other thing.
in this series,
And he does team up with Moon Knight in the comics. So
right.
It's
Now,
not outside the realm. And Moon Knight has fought Dracula. So,
so there's a lot of potential there for Ethan Hawke. Now,
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke is saying that he is essentially a follower of
I forget. Is it Annette? Or
I have it here.
it's the other
a miss.
I don't know. She's a Jekyll or a jackal. She's a jackal god in Egypt.
She is Amit.
Amet. We were close.
Amet. Yeah. So he's saying he is essentially like the leader
herald.
of the herald. Thank
the
you. That is
Avatar.
the herald.
He said no. I
Thank
think
you, Harry.
he said Avatar, which is cool because that
Right.
ties into because Mark Spector is
The blue
called the
people.
Avatar. Yeah, but then he makes the comment about the blue people.
You mean anime?
which was awesome. But she's creepy, the Egyptian god, because
Very,
she judges people based on what they will do. It's kind of like a Minority Report deal, where it's like what they will do, not what they
Yeah.
have done. So if she knows you're gonna do something evil later, she'll kill you,
Right.
Right.
which is like super creepy.
That's but his like explanation of it was one of the coolest things because you like
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it and
yeah.
you're like, oh, that's actually a pretty half decent argument.
Yeah, well,
Like,
yeah, because he's like it
had-
would have
had-
stopped World War II. You know,
Yeah,
it would've stopped the
Hitler never
Nazis,
would've-
It would have, yeah.
risen to power.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It's and you know, I don't think it's outside the realm of possible because we know she's actually involved somehow because one of the jackal demons went after him at the end of the episode.
right.
So like, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Dracula would team up with some other being, but I think that being in it to me kind of pushes away the Dracula theory a bit.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Which is sad.
I
It would
want
be
them
cool to
to
be Dracula, but
I want them to lean into the Egyptian piece. Like
yes,
maybe he's
yes,
Morbius.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, would you say Morbius?
Yeah. So
Oh
maybe
my
he's Morbius.
Goodness, he's got the same kind of hair. Except you know what?
Speaking
You know what?
of which,
You know what Ethan Hawke is?
speaking of which,
He's a
currently
good actor.
currently sitting at 18% on
Oh my
Rotten
goodness,
Tomatoes.
man.
When are we gonna go see it,
We're gonna go
guys?
see it
Next
soon.
week, probably.
And we'll get
Or
get you
this-
up to date on it.
Maybe
On-
maybe this week we gotta go before spring break. So
Ugh.
maybe this week we'll have to go sometime.
Oh,
Try
one
and
of
find
the
a time.
worst.
Ugh. Gross. I don't
One of the
wanna-
worst
Is
movies.
it on anything streaming?
No, it's not streaming
Man, we have to
anywhere.
go
Also,
We actually have to go to
Wednesday
theaters
is the day for tickets for
Oh, yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
So if you're listening to this, it's probably the next tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Yes. It's coming out Tuesday. You're right.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So-
all right. Let's get back to this.
But back to
So-
this.
All right.
So you just keep on flashing in and out with Steven.
Yes,
I
because
think
Mark
that's
takes
awesome.
over, and we don't see Mark. We just get to see his aftermath.
But you see, like, Steven, I'm sitting there, and he's got himself strapped to the bed. He's got sand
love
around
that.
his
I
bed.
love that.
He's
I
got
love
tape
that.
on it. And you sit there, and you're like, man, that's pretty smart. But then you actually start to think about it, and you're like, man, that's actually really dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
Mark
it's
just
actually,
puts it all back.
yeah, he puts it
I
all
love
back.
that.
And clearly is easily able to.
Though-
like, you can just jump over the sand. Like, it's not that big of a
do
deal.
you think he put it back, or do you think that there's some other?
He
Nah,
may
I
have
think
another
he-
way out. He may have another way out.
He might
It
go
doesn't
up.
even.
He
He
might
doesn't even
go
worry
up.
about it.
Well,
Yeah.
but so something happened in the apartment before or after the scene in the Alps when he's driving the cupcake truck, which I love when he threw the gun at the truck in
Did
front
you
of him.
just throw the gun?
He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, it's so great. But something happened in that apartment because Mark had to replace the goldfish.
That's just because he was away.
So you think the goldfish just died?
I think the goldfish
Because he was
just
away
died
for-
because he
for
was
3
away.
days?
Yeah,
Will the goldfish die that fast?
No.
I don't think so.
I
Don't
think so.
experiment. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we can find a
I'm
test.
kidding.
We'll
All right,
test
we'll
it.
get the
No,
goldfish.
We won't.
No, I'm kidding. We love animals.
Especially
Okay, well maybe it is. Maybe it just died.
No, I think that
because he
has
neglected
had
it.
Well, you got to think
He
about
has
it
had
too.
to replace
Yeah.
that goldfish so many times.
Lydia or whatever her name was.
Yeah, the lady who called her.
Yeah,
who he
Lydia.
called
She
him,
said
yeah.
you haven't answered for months, so the time frames for that. And I know it was only
Yeah.
3 days because of the date or whatever, but
Mhm.
Right.
time does go by like
Yeah, it depends on when
very
he was
quickly.
when he
So
was
Right
there.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
we
love-
don't know how much time is actually floating between each
Right.
of these
Right.
Mark
I just-
intrusions.
I just love how
like Interstellar.
obviously Mark went into the pet store and was like, I need a goldfish with one fin.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, we don't have any.
We-
And then he comes
yeah.
back in and she's like, you asked yesterday. We don't sell goldfish with one. He's like, what? It's like, so obviously Mark
no,
was
I
trying
think
to
she
fix
said
it.
we don't sell disabled
Yeah.
goldfish. Like,
They're all the same. They all have fins.
I love it, man. I love it.
no, but his first reaction was to go and it grew back.
Yeah,
It
right,
grew
right,
back.
right. He brings it to the pet store. This is amazing. It's like, what are you talking about, man? I saw. I
You know
love
what's
that.
great is
Yeah.
yesterday I caught a fish, and my buddies can attest to it. It had a missing fin. I was like,
this guy's he's stop
There
it.
you go.
All right, well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy
there
you.
you
I'm
go.
gonna buy you a
I
Moon
didn't.
Knight.
I have it cut up. I could bring it in.
I'm
if
gonna
you
buy
want
you a Moon Knight
You-
bust to go next to your
Yeah, we
Azrael
need to
bust
get you
because
some
you're
Moon Knight
like
stuff.
you're obviously channeling both characters. All right,
It's really
anything
weird that a
else?
lot of similar things have happened.
Anything else
It's
you
freaking
guys
me out
want
a
to
little bit.
comment before I bring in the last little bit that's like a really big tie-in here for the end? Anything else that happened in the episode that was really like stuck out to you guys or you thought was cool or
From an overarching standpoint,
What you
like
thought?
I thought it was a legitimate good first episode, but I wasn't blown away by anything, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like
I'm gonna agree.
I wasn't overly surprised by anything. There wasn't any shock moment. It wasn't bad. It just like I kind of had expected more from it because it is Moon Knight.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting a full Steven episode, like, and that's okay. Like, you can do something different. I have no problem with that. But I just, for them to lean so heavily into Steven and change his character was really, really surprising. And so I just really hope what doesn't happen, and this is the thing that I hope doesn't happen, is they have episodes where they're only looking at one character the entire time.
I don't
like
think
I,
so.
I don't want them then the next episode is only Mark. Like, and then the next episode is only Jake.
So now
like,
Steven
wanna
knows, though.
Yes, I
Now
agree.
he knows Mark exists.
Now
and
he has to deal with that.
Well, and when Mark took over at the end, Steven
Right.
saw it all. Like we saw it all. So
right,
like,
but I think
Steven
now
knows.
I want to see
Yeah,
their
them both.
interplay and having to have to figure out how to work together. That's my hope, is we now move on from this like singular person
Right.
episode.
So let me ask you this though: if they would have started with Mark and Moon Knight, would you really have wanted to go back and see Steven?
No, and that's what I was gonna get at. Was
Yeah,
that
this-
like
they brought
they kind of
Steven
had
in
to get out
first.
of the way?
get him in here so that you get interested and get teased with Moon Knight. But if they just gave you Moon Knight right away,
I would have, but I wouldn't. Not this Steven. So here's
right,
what
that's
I'm
what
saying.
The way they wrote him.
The way that they wrote him, I would not have been interested to go back. So that's a really good way to think about it. But had it been Millionaire Steven, I still would have been interested to go from Moon Knight to Millionaire Steven. I would have.
I don't think, but in the comics, I don't believe Millionaire Steven is like what you're thinking of. Like, I think he's still just as quirky and weird and
no, I still would have liked to
have
I
gone
still
back
would
to
have.
that.
I still would have
just
seen
doesn't
that
like that
because
he's a loser.
He's just like losers.
Yeah,
I get that. Just
like, I mean, I
losers.
just like
He's like, man, I want to watch.
So why do you hang out with us?
yeah. Well, you're not losers.
Oh.
Was there anything? Was there? Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Was there anything interesting that you would say in there?
No, I mean, I was thinking the same. I was thinking in a way to answer your question is what your question was. That way I was thinking. I'm really tired. I've had a long week.
Let's do it,
Okay, Yoda.
Jeez,
My man.
To answer your question is, I don't think it would have been as exciting to go see Steven. So if they kind of get that, like, all right, like, yeah, he's a beginning character, so you have a little bit of draw and like a little bit of reason to like wanting to watch him. It's like, oh, we started with him, like, let's see where that carries out. So if you didn't start with him, we probably wouldn't have cared about him at all. But no, I mean, I think it's really interesting.
Really good point.
I think that like the ending was good enough to have me wanting more.
That's your
Yeah.
that's
So-
your hook
there. Yeah,
that's your
it
hook
was.
right
I
there.
mean, it's kind of like the whole episode was just like, okay, I'm really interested in like what's going on with the split personalities, blah blah blah.
What's this
I
scarab?
mean, yeah, like how does that work necessarily? Like that obviously activates something within, like, you know,
That's next. That's what
something going on.
I'm going to ask you about.
So anyway, but
cool.
Segue.
the way I'm going to end it,
Slide him a 20.
the way I'm going to
Slide him
end
a
it real
20.
quick.
He's good about that. He gets the scarab segue. He also got the Nazi segue.
My man.
Go on.
I'm
How
gonna
you gonna end it?
No, I think I'm just gonna end it with the old Leo, quote is, "You have my curiosity, but now you have my attention."
Yes,
So-
amen, amen. Yeah, and Logan and I were talking about this earlier today too. That it's like, this isn't a movie, so we've still got 5 more hours,
Right.
Like, and so it's okay.
There's only 6 episodes.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do
They're
this-
like, we're gonna come out with a new series, 3 episodes.
Listen, we do this every single time. All of them have been 6 episodes, except
No.
for WandaVision. We have this covered.
No, there's another one.
We do
There
it
is
every-
another
There
one,
might be a- there
and
might
we
be-
do it every other time.
There might be another one, but the majority of them are 6 episodes. Anyway,
He's right.
yeah, because we have this
think it's Loki.
literally this. Yeah, you can look again because you did last time too.
No, it's not.
Just gonna keep it up constantly.
Just do it again, but it's
All right.
not.
So here we go. The Scarab. So there's
Yes.
a lot of theories about what the Scarab is. The Scarab is obviously really important. Ethan Hawke's character really wants it.
It's clearly
Moon
the
Knight
scarab
stole it.
from the Mummy.
Looks like it.
You can't like not steal a scarab.
Right.
What are you gonna say? There's copyright infringement on a scarab?
Well, here's
What are the ancient Egyptians gonna be like? Those are actually ours. You owe us money.
No. This is
King
a
Tut just
no.
raised up.
What?
This is
Where's
where
my
Patton-
royalties?
This is where Patton Oswalt comes in again from Parks and Rec. This is our crossover into the Mummy universe.
The sun is setting on the Mummy world, and Moon Knight
and a
appears
hand
holding
comes
the captain.
out from the Sarlacc pit.
Boba Fett has stolen the Scarab, and
Yep.
no. So in 2019, there was a Moon Knight run. This is the theory here. So in 2019, there was a
Hit
Moon
it.
Knight run where Moon Knight was fighting Kang throughout time and dimensions.
Oh
Okay?
boy.
Here's the reason he was fighting him. He was fighting him around 3 ancient Egyptian totems that Khonshu said was important. One being an Ankh, which I don't know what that is. The second being a scepter, and the third being a scarab.
What was it? What is it?
Ankh, A-N-K-H. Can you look it up what that is? I don't know what that is. Anyway, so those 3 totems, right?
H?
Yeah, A-N-K-H. Yeah.
Oh, it's that cross, but with a on top, the whoop.
Oh, the Egyptian like cross thing with the
Yeah.
hoop on the top. Cool. Well, anyway, so he's trying to Kang's
Collect
trying to
all
steal
3.
these things.
The scepter could
Kang.
easily be the
The staff,
The alligator.
the alligator staff,
the
maybe.
alligator staff.
Oh, 100%.
So Kang is particularly interested in the Scarab, though, because the Scarab can create time rifts, which is exactly what Kang, the Conqueror, was looking for
Right.
to become the ultimate Kang in all those dimensions.
Ultimate King.
Right. So that could be a greater connection to Moon Knight, to the new Avengers, to that new phase for,
This is just
Maybe
it's getting really
what
messy.
What
I
if?
don't
Just
think
getting
so.
really
What if-
messy.
I don't think so.
What
because
if-
the,
Go ahead,
the
Harry.
totems will ground it.
What
Go
if
ahead,
the
Now there's something to find.
Ethan Hawke's character is actually a herald for Kang and he doesn't know it?
Ooh. Ooh. Oh! Harry,
Said it here first.
Harry, say that again.
Said it here
Say-
first.
say that again, Harry.
Speak it into
Say that
truth.
again.
Speak it into
So what I'm trying to
existence for the
say is,
Say it again, Harry.
what is his name?
I don't remember.
Hummus.
Ethan Hawke.
Hummus.
Just Ethan Hawke.
Hammond.
No
It's an H.
matter,
Anyway, Ethan
no
Hawke's
matter who
character,
it is, it's Ethan Hawke.
aka knockoff Dracula.
I'm naming him Hummus from
What,
now on.
what if he is actually like some type of herald for Kang, and that is how they're bringing it in?
Oh! Yo, I would love that.
That's
That'd be pretty
good.
Yeah, so he thinks
That's a
he's
good-
serving.
Yeah.
He honestly believes
Good move.
he's serving the Egyptian goddess.
Yep.
But really, it's Kang
Yep.
Manipulating him.
Yep.
His
Woof.
name, you were close. His name is Arthur Harrow.
Harrow.
Harrow. Not Hummus.
Oh,
Arthur Hummus is
All
what
the
he's called.
Marvel shows are 6 except for What If and WandaVision.
What if in one
Say-
division?
Yeah, there we go. There was the two.
Because what? It's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye,
Captain
Captain America, Loki. So 3 of them are 6.
There are really only 3.
Well, no, and then WandaVision and What If.
WandaVision.
So there's 5 altogether.
gotta
6
be more
now
than
with
that,
Moon
though,
Knight.
right?
Well, no, there
Are we
will
forgetting
be. She-Hulk's coming out. Miss Marvel's coming out.
No, we don't get rid of
So yeah, that's all the
And
ones
Moon
that
Knight.
have come out at this point. Yeah.
them. I guess so. I
It's
don't
just- here's the thing.
It just feels like
for the
more.
past
it just
year,
feels like
we've
better.
been talking about all the ones that are coming out, and they
Yeah.
keep like
Yeah,
coming out. So yeah, man, I think this is good.
I like it. I'm excited for it. I have a name. Okay.
know. Oh boy, not this crap again.
Yeah, what's your name, Logan?
The Moon Nightly News.
That's actually good.
That was really good.
The
Come on.
Moon Nightly News. The Moon Nightly News. Coming to you live
There's
from the Legion.
there's got to be something that's close to that that's better.
I like. So wait, you basically hold on.
That's
you
good,
basically
but there's
just
gotta be
said,
something close to it that's just better.
Logan, thank you for getting us like 99% of the way there.
I mean, honestly-
but I think we can do better.
You could.
You can always do better.
You could just do the Nightly News and have it be KN. The Nightly News. It would be.
You could.
It would be shorter than like, the Moon Nightly News is a little cumbersome. I get what you're saying. It could just be the Nightly News. I don't know.
I'll go with either, but I like the Moon Nightly News.
The Moon Nightly News. You know,
What about like the
wow,
Moon Nightly News with someone?
with the Legion?
With the Legion. The
the
Moon
Legion.
Nightly
The
News
Moon
with the
Nightly
Legion.
News. Nah, it's real long, but I can still make that into a logo.
You can make that
We
happen.
can do that.
That's a good one.
We can make it happen. So if you want to see
it happen.
more of the Moon Nightly News with the Legion,
Make it so.
Harry,
got so.
Greg, and Logan, we will have new episodes coming out every week about this TV show. What is going on? About this show and other things. So check back here, hit that bell, subscribe, click all those links.
Do it.
We will see you next time, Legion.